Hello, Gabe Heller here, G Hohenzollern on YouTube and Hanno Brown Couch on Twitch. There's a boycott going on of YouTube because of changes to the user agreement whereby they can simply delete any channel which they believe to be not commercially viable. Now, I was going to confine myself to Twitch during the course of this boycott, but my Twitch setup isn't working great at the moment, so instead I've decided to post a vlog about it. I'm going to start by giving YouTube the most possible benefit of the doubt. Let's say there are some specific problematic channels they want a way to get rid of. Channels which are not designed to be viewed. Rather, folks who are just using YouTube to offload large amounts of high-quality video data so they don't have to store it locally. I don't know this is actually happening, but it certainly could be. There'd be no way for me to know because, as I said, these channels would not be designed to be viewed. Without tags or proper descriptions or names, how would I ever find these channels? Yet before this change in the agreement, YouTube would be totally on the hook for storing and processing videos from such channels entirely at their own cost. We're talking about people who are taking advantage of the generosity YouTube intends only for actual content creators like myself. And if this is the case, we should be glad to see them go and the resources they are tying up be repurposed to us. However, YouTube has done nothing at all to make it clear that's actually who they're targeting with this agreement changes, and they've also given themselves the most possible leeway in this situation. Suppose someone at YouTube simply happens to have a beef with a particular channel. As long as that channel falls below an arbitrary threshold of commercial viability that we're not allowed to know, YouTube can now simply delete that channel. This would be just one of the many ways in which YouTube, which seemed so promising as a virtual replacement of the public square of old, where all views are heard and discussion is welcome, is slowly turning into something much different, where commercially viable views and discussions begin to drown out other voices. And that could simply happen due to the caprice of one human or another. Imagine what might happen if the algorithm gets involved. In fact, let's do that. Imagine for a moment the simplest algorithm. Any channel that is not getting a certain number of views per day is flagged for deletion. YouTube could definitely do this under the new agreement. None of their big money-making stars would have anything to fear. But people just starting out, genuinely trying to find an audience who haven't actually found it yet, people like me, my channel would be gone the very next day. No ifs, ands, or buts. The promise of YouTube as a place where anyone with talent can make it would be dead. And it wouldn't stop YouTube from making money off their 1,000 most popular channels for years to come. They'd be on perfectly sound financial footing. It would only be the dreamers and the audience that would pay the price, as we have increasingly been doing anyway. And that's just my personal interest as a YouTube creator and audience member. What about the general good? YouTube currently stores vast troves of educational and free speech content, most of which is probably not actually commercially viable. The new rules would allow YouTube carte blanche to crack down on this content should they choose. Now sure, they are a business and accountable first to their own bottom line, but they're also a very big business that impacts so many aspects of so many lives all over the world. They participate in politics. As far as I'm concerned, any business that participates in politics opens itself up to be held accountable by politicians and by extension, citizens. We've done it before when companies have gotten too big for their britches, and if YouTube starts deleting educational and free content, I think we ought to hold them to account. Now, I'm almost done, but I'm going to go back for a moment to giving YouTube the benefit of the doubt, because frankly, the chances they'll listen to me are much higher if I do that. Let's assume for a moment that they really are just trying to show people what they want to see, not control what people see, assuming we don't really know what we want anyway. They can't afford to pay humans to help with this, so they've been using an algorithm for it. They've also been collecting more and more statistics about videos, but looking at one of the newer statistics, it kind of seems like the statistics and the algorithm arms of YouTube aren't talking to one another. Why? Relatively recently, they've added click-through rate to the statistic. This shows creators both how many impressions their videos are getting, that is when those videos are recommended to viewers by YouTube, as well as how many click-throughs they are getting, that is when a viewer chooses to view that particular video. Now, YouTube has ways of recognizing clickbait. Let's assume for the moment those are working, though I'm not sure they are. Ideally, all videos would have the same click-through rate. That is, videos which few people want to see would have few clicks, but also few impressions, while videos many people want to see would have many times that many impressions, but also many times that many clicks. And that brings a very simple potential algorithm to mind that ought to level the playing field without hurting the big fish as long as they continue to produce quality content. When choosing which videos to give impressions, weight higher the videos with a higher click-through rate. This would allow videos with higher click-through rates to reach a wider audience while providing a break on videos with lower click-through rates. It would be self-correcting. Videos which do not appeal to a wider audience would quickly see a decrease in their click-through rates and a corresponding decrease in impressions, while videos that do appeal to a wider audience would maintain their click-through rate and perhaps eventually reach an even wider one. How can I be sure they're not already doing this? Well, all I have to do is look at my click-through rates. They vary wildly, and my most viewed videos aren't at all the ones with the highest click-through rates. There's no way YouTube is advertising the existence of the vast majority of my videos to anything like the audience that would be interested in them. And so I, and other new creators, languish in obscurity. So the question is, YouTube, are you just interested in picking 1,000 stars and running with them? Or do you actually still want to be what your name implies, a place where you can be on the tube?
Warning, warning, this video is almost over. Warning, warning, it's time to choose another one. This has gone on far too long, time to wake up and sing along. Warning, warning, this video is over now.